Hi guys, we're going to do square roots today. I have the list of perfect squares here, the first 20 anyway, and a calculator so I can show you how to use some of the buttons. Oh, that's very nice. Keep going. So these are some of the questions that you're going to get asked on your test. You're going to have a square root. That's not a perfect square, so we have to simplify it. So number one is the square root of 150. So if you look over to this list, the square root of 150 isn't here. It would be between the square root of 169 and the square root of 144. So for us to simplify the square root of 150, I have to break it down into two square roots that multiply together to get me 150. This one is going to be a perfect square, and this one is not. This one is going to be in its simplest form. Okay, so 150 would be between square root of 169 and the square root of 144. So you take 150, put it in your calculator, and you start dividing it by the number that's smaller. So if it's in between 169 and 144, 144 is a smaller number. So now, if you're thinking like I am right now, those are too close to one another to actually go in evenly. But just for the sake of going through all the steps, I'm going to show you all the steps. So 144 didn't work, so I'm going to try 121. I know that that's not going to work. That doesn't go in evenly. The next number is 100. Oops, sorry. 150 divided by 100. That doesn't go in evenly. 150 divided by, the next one is 81. That doesn't go in. 150 divided by 64. Oh my goodness, I love it. That's beautiful.
I love it. No, I'm back.
Okay, draw more. Sorry.
Okay.
150 divided by 49. Doesn't work. 150 divided by 36. Doesn't work. So I have 150 divided by 25. And that divides it evenly. So 25 times 6 equals 150. So that means that the square root of 25 times the square root of 6 is equal to the square root of 150. Now, the square root of 25 is 5. So this number will always have a square root. And the square root of 6 is not on here. And if you do it right, this is in its simplest form. So you just kind of drag it on down. And if you're looking over here at your choices, D would be your correct choice. Now that's one way of doing it. That's the longer way. If you want to make sure that you get the correct answer, you could do something like this. So especially like test taking strategies. So second x squared key will get the square root up. I'm going to type in 150, close the parenthesis, equals. So I get 12.2 blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to write that down. Okay. Now, 30 is already bigger than 12, so it's not going to be that one. 25 is bigger than 12, so I know it wouldn't be that one. Now I have 6 square root of 5 and 5 square root of 6. So if you do 6 square root of 5, close it, you get 13.4. What, honey? Honey, could you just let her do it because I'm trying to do something? Gia, could you just do what you need to do? And then 5 square root of 6 is 12.2, whatever we got the first time. So that one, oh sorry, this one doesn't work. So this one is your match. So if you throw it into your calculator, it should work out.
One green one. I make 5.
The next one is the square root of 448.
I make 5.
So 448 is not on our list, so I would start having to divide. Actually, I don't know what it is, but I know that this isn't gonna work. So you start going up. I know that these aren't gonna work, but just to go through the motions, 324, that doesn't work, 289, doesn't work, 256, doesn't work, 225, doesn't work, 196, doesn't work, 169, doesn't work, 144, oops, doesn't work, 121 is the next one, doesn't work, 100, I know that's not going to work, 81, doesn't work, 64, goes in evenly. So this breaks down to the square root of 64.
Mommy, look at me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. She said Hulk is coming. All right, so the square root of 64, if you look over here at our list, is 8. And the square root of 7, you just bring it down. And that is here as b. Okay. If I didn't know how to do that, I could do it in a calculator. So second, x squared 448. Hey! You get 21.1 blah blah blah. So 64 is already bigger than 21. So it won't be that. 112 is already bigger. So you could stick both of these in the calculator.
What's wrong? What?
And that's the same exact number that we got when we put in the square root of 448 in there. So that's your correct answer. All right. All right, these next two are the harder problems. This one asks, which value of x makes the expression above equivalent to this? So anytime we're looking at this, the difference between this is a 6, now it's a 30. This was a 3x, now it's just a 3. So what number do we put into x to make it look like this? There's a couple of different things that you could do. You could substitute them in, see which one gives you the equivalent number. But the easiest way to do these, you take the second number,
okay? You dropped it on his head.
divide it by the first, and then you square it. So 5 to the second power is 25. So that's your answer there. So divide, then square. Another question is the harder one is the expression above should be further simplified for which value of x? So you have 91. What you need to do here is find the factors of 91. Okay, obviously 1 times 91 is a factor, but 1 is not going to help us out. Then you take your calculator to find more factors. You put 91 in there, and you start dividing. So the number that comes after 1 is 2. It's not going to go in evenly. Then you do it by 3. Doesn't work. Divided by, divided by 4. Divided by 5. Now, I already know some of these aren't going to work, but I'm just doing you to show you all the steps that I could take. All right, so 7 times 13. Sorry I'm writing like this, it's hard with one hand. So you take the smallest factor here besides 1, which is 7, and you divide it into every single one of these. The number that it goes into evenly is your answer. That means that they share a common factor. That means that one of these has a 7 in it. Oops. And since one of these has a 7 in it, I could get a 7 outside of the square root. Okay, so I'm gonna put 259 divided by 7. It goes in evenly, so right away we get our answer. If you were to check the rest, 3 divided by 7, obviously that doesn't work. 74 divided by 7 does not work. And the last is 67 divided by 7. So that doesn't work. So with that problem, 2 more problems. I'm just going to show you the calculator way. So we have the square root of 12 times 4 square root of 3. So you enter them in your calculator. I'll show you the long way in class. It's just I don't have enough time on my phone. So the square root of 12 times 4 square root of 3. The most important thing is that you're entering the parentheses in after, like you're going to enter in a parenthesis there and one here. Once you enter, you get your answer. So the answer to this one is 24. That one comes out nice and evenly. A problem like this is not going to. So you have 7 square root of 63, close the parenthesis, minus 2 square root of 28, close the parenthesis. You get this ugly decimal, 4.97, blah, 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 okay? So, the only one I could cancel out for sure is this 55, because it's all way bigger than 49. So I'm going to plug this in. So I have 9 square root of 7. That's not 44, so that doesn't work. Oops, sorry. 17. Oh, geez. Square root of 7 gives me that exact number that I had. 4497, blah, blah, blah. So your answer here is B. And that is all I have to say about square roots.